Start becoming more independent and relying more on yourself. Get so independent where you don't have to rely on anybody for nothing. I'm not saying don't have people in your life, but what I am saying is the way you think, make sure it's the way that you think, not what somebody else told you to think. Keep your mind open to information that you know can benefit you. Keep your mind open to people that you know more than you. But don't hold yourself back from the people that literally know nothing in a sense. So don't rely on these people to give you ideas. Don't rely on these people for money. Don't rely on these people for anything. Rely on yourself way more than anything else. And literally anything. I feel like the more independent you get in every aspect of your life, the better your life will become. When you start thinking independently and not with everybody, with the crowd, or thinking based on what everybody else thinks, you think for yourself. Now that is where the most benefit is going to be at. My neck hurts. But I say that because think about it. When people think on everybody else, so let's take the school system for example. When you take a dependent thinker, they are going to tell you that everything you learn in school is going to be useful. You know, the only way you can get successful is through school. You know, school is the only way you're going to make it. Yada, yada, yada. You know, finding mx plus b equals y or whatever is so important. These are what dependent thinkers think. These are what they think. You know, they rely on the school system. They rely on things that don't even benefit them, but because everybody else does it, they do it too. They're dependent on people. And the independent thinkers will think outside the box. That's when the whole, you know, the school system doesn't help us as much. You know, all this kind of started is when people started thinking more outside the box. And that's why things like mentorships and programs and stuff get so much money, because people think that the school system doesn't help them anymore. And the truth is, it usually doesn't. Even if you want to get like a simple job, I feel like the information you get taught in school is not helpful whatsoever. I mean, everything, I think in elementary school it's important because you obviously you're getting better at speaking your language, English, whatever it is. You're getting better at, you know, numbers and addition, division, multiplication, you know, the simple stuff. But I feel like once you start getting the more complex things, unless you're going in a specific department after high school or after school in general, you tend not to really get as much use out of it. So I think it's more just a waste of time. But when you get these independent thinkers, they think outside the box. They think, well, I don't necessarily need anything. I don't need to rely on the school system to determine my success. Dependent people will. They rely on college, high school, and all that to determine any amount of success they can because they're dependent on others. That's why these dependent thinkers will never be business owners, because you have to be independent as a business owner. You have to be independent to do something that nobody else is doing. You will never, ever, ever, ever find a dependent thinker doing something like a business or YouTube or social media or anything that is out of the ordinary. Why? Because they are dependent. They care so much about what other people think, and they also rely on other people too. It's kind of like the people that, you know, they don't reach out to you for anything. Like they don't just hit you up just to see how you're doing, or they don't just hit you up just to talk, but instead they hit you up to ask you for something. These people are dependent. They are not independent. You'll never catch someone that's independent, who is a genuine person, relying on you for money or anything like that. Why? Because they're independent. They got their own stuff going on. They don't need to rely on you for anything. But I think these people are a lot better to be around because they got their own ideas. Everybody knows like a yes man, like somebody who agrees with everything you say. And there's the opposite too, where the person disagrees with everything you say, and those are annoying as well. But these people are so dependent on your ideas that they forget it's not even their idea. They think it's theirs, but in reality it's not. They heard it from you, and so they copied and pasted it in their own brain. So now they're relying on your stuff, claiming it in their head that it is their idea, even though it's not. They never came up with it. They're dependent on everything, everyone. And these people, I think it's best to just stay away from, because honestly, it gets you in a bad crowd, because this is when lying starts. This is when the people don't actually, they have this character that's not actually them. And in my opinion, if you can't even be yourself, how am I supposed to trust you? You're lying to yourself each and every day. How are you, if you're lying to yourself each and every day, how are you gonna tell me the truth? You can't. You can't even tell yourself the truth by looking in the mirror, because you're depending on everybody else for your own thoughts. You're depending so much on what other people are telling you or what they're doing for you. They depend on everything. Take a step away and really think about who you are as a person, and stop staring at this, because I know I don't even know what it is. I think it's a pimple. But yeah. But back to what I was saying. These people are very, I don't want to sound like bad, but I think these people are very not great people to be around, because they genuinely just waste your time, especially if you are a super independent person. Like, I mean, do what you want in your life. If you like the friend, go for it. But in my personal experience, these people are not good to be around. They will waste your time. You'll have to constantly drag and drag and drag shit out of their life to figure out what they actually want to do, what they want to do with their life, or how they actually think, because they don't tell you the truth at all. They always rely on your ideas or others' ideas, so you don't know what they actually think. And these people are a problem to be around. So, like I said, it's your life. Be friends with whoever you want, but I'm just saying, if you want to learn from others, being around independent people, it's never really a great thing. It's mainly a waste of time, because no matter what kind of category you put in, they either depend on your ideas. Let's say they depend on you for money. They depend on you for friendship. They depend on you for love. They depend on you for this. So it's always like a sense of fakeness to it. Even like for something like, they depend on you as a friend, right? And what I mean by that is, like, they depend on you for friendship. Like, say they really just want a friend, so they depend on you for a friendship without even really thinking about it. So what do these people do? They try to make sure that you feel as best as possible all the time. Why is this bad? Because it's not genuine. It's not a genuine relationship. They're just kissing your ass every second of the day to make you feel good, when in reality, that's not how they feel at all. And this is a waste of time to be around. These people are a waste of time. Because when you look at it from the outside, you're like, yeah, well, that sounds great. You know, he's my friend. He talks about how great I am. He compliments me every single day, which in the exterior sense, sure, this sounds good, seems good, might feel good, but put your ego aside and think about what is happening. Think about what is happening on the internal side. It's like, okay, he's lying about all of this. Or even if he is telling the truth, I don't know if he's telling the truth, because he's so dependent on others' ideas. He doesn't even have his own. He's not telling himself the truth at all. How am I supposed to react to this? Am I supposed to be proud he's telling me this stuff, or should I not feel good? Like, I don't know. So when I got into this position with these kind of people, it made me realize that these people are, I don't want to say that they're not terrible people, but they just depend on either you or other people for so much for everything. They cannot do things themselves, and they really just waste your time. And I think, in my opinion, it's best to just keep them out. And now, I'm gonna clarify, because there always is that one person that's gonna speak of the 0.000001% of people, the people who genuinely need dependence, like they have like a problem, like a mental issue or something like this. Obviously, I would not cut them out of my life. But I am talking about normal people, like people who are just like you and me. People like that. They don't really need to depend on you, but they choose to anyways. There are people out there that do need dependence. They need to be looked over. They need to be watched over. They can't do stuff themselves. There are people out there, and they got mental stuff going on. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying cut those people out, because they have a legitimate reason. They were born a certain way. That's the reason. You can't fault them for that. It's the people that aren't born that way that they want to act like they were. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't have anything wrong with them, or maybe they have a slight tweak, but even then, they don't have anything major. They could definitely run them. They can definitely run themselves on their own, but they choose not to. They choose to depend on you. That's the people I'm saying to stay away from. Just to clarify. But yes, I mean, these people, man, dependent people are never really great to be around. They kind of just waste your time. They make you feel good in the moment, but in reality, it's all fake. It's all fake. Understand that. Because if they can't come up with their own ideas, if they can't think for themselves, they are a bad person to be around. They're going to waste your time. They're going to lie about everything. They will never tell the truth. It's almost in a sense of selfishness. They care about themselves so much that they care about what other people think of them, so they take their ideas or they change the way they think so that these people will perceive them as good. It's a waste of time. I hope that makes sense. They change their thoughts to other people so that these people like them. That way they're accepted into the group of people. It's an act of selfishness, in my opinion. Sort of. I think if there is a such thing as negative selfishness and positive selfishness, I would say that is an act of negative selfishness. Obviously, I don't think that's a thing, but I'm just saying if there was, that would be an act of negative. Obviously, the act of positive selfishness would be stuff like improving yourself each and every day, going to the gym, you're working on yourself, even though that's not even selfishness. But I'm just saying if there was, that's what I would say. Hope that makes sense. It might be a little confusing, and I apologize for that, but stay away from dependent people. Dependability is terrible to be around. Make sure that you yourself are starting to become more independent each and every day. Learn new things, grow your brain. Learn new things, be open to new things, open your mind up. Don't rely so much on other people. Obviously, learn from people who know more than you. That is a good idea to do. And I think that's how people learn each and every day. That and experience, yeah. So when I say dependability, I think I've explained it enough. Obviously, you learning from someone who knows more than you is not depending. It is depending in a sense, but your character is not dependent on them. You're relying on them for some information, but after that, it's it. You don't need to rely on them anymore. So just start to think more independently. Start to do your own thing. Don't rely on so much of what people tell you have to do. It's your life. Do what you want. So just learn to stop being so dependent. Become an independent thinker. Make your own money. Do your own thing. Have fun the way you want to have fun. And enjoy your life. But other than that, life isn't too short to make a change.